Light brown shoes don't just destroy your look, they destroy your life. And in this video, I'm gonna tell you why. Intro.
You should come rolling my
The problem isn't the light brown shoes themselves per se. I own a pair. Although they are a little bit hard to wear, it's how guys choose to wear them. I'm gonna show you what to wear instead so they're no longer damaging your outfits. And I'm gonna show you how to actually wear them so you can look stylish. Speaking of stylish, I put together a swipe file called the 5 Can't Miss Outfits That Always Work. It covers the suit, the shirt, the tie, and the pocket square. That way you never have to think about what combinations work best again. It's free. The link is in the description. When you walk into a room, you want the attention to be on your face, not on your shoes. When guys wear light brown shoes with navy suits, they cause all the attention to go to your feet. And this is why I say light brown shoes don't just ruin your outfit, they can actually ruin your life because now nobody sees your face, they're just looking at your shoes. In my case, before I knew what I was doing, it actually cost me money. More on that later. Speaking of, if you want to be the best dressed in your industry so you can make more money, every month I enroll a small group of guys in my well-dressed program. Spots are limited. Click the link in the description to see if you're a good fit. So we're going to start with why most men should stay away from wearing light brown shoes. So when it comes to tailoring, the most important part of your presentation is what I like to call the Holy Trinity. And I'm referring to the lapels, the shirt, and the tie, which is this area that's right here, right under your face. The reason why that's so important is because if your face is the picture, that area is the frame because that's what leads up to your face. So if somebody's paying attention to this area, they'll also be looking at your face because it's a natural progression. When you walk into a room or when you are speaking to someone, the goal is to have them be looking at your face, not anything else. Unfortunately, most guys dress in a way where that's not the case. A lot of guys confuse being loud with dressing well. Do you want to be stylish or do you want to wear a costume? Just because people are commenting about what you got on doesn't mean that it's good. It's a situation like all publicity is good publicity. Nah, it doesn't work like that with tailoring. Being stylish is completely different from being loud. Those aren't the same thing. As I like to say, dressing well is like an orchestra that's so in sync and in perfect harmony that you can't tell which instrument is doing what, and that should really be the goal. That's not to say that people aren't going to have their favorites. Some people, they'll compliment my tie, others will compliment my shoes. Some will be like, man, that suit fits you great. But it's not because one thing is screaming so loud that they have to pick that one. Most of the time, actually, the biggest thing that people tell me is, well, it's two things that people really tell me. Number one, they either tell me, you look really nice, although I don't know exactly what it is that makes you look so nice. Top-notch compliment. That means that everything that I wear just makes sense. So there's not one piece that's screaming, hey, look at me, right? The second compliment I usually get is, I look very comfortable in my clothes. I think there's a misconception when it comes to tailoring that it's not supposed to be comfortable. And obviously nothing could be further from the truth. You can't be well dressed if you're not comfortable. So those are two compliments I usually get. But funny enough, I used to get a lot more compliments before I really started to dress well. And that's because it was always something fighting for attention, whether it was really bright socks, whether it was the shoes that I was wearing that was clashing with the suit. And those are the things that people would comment on. I would take it as if it meant I'm really killing it, but that's not what it means. I remember it was September 2012. I went to the Ferrari dealership in my county, not because I wanted to buy a Ferrari, but because I was working as a custom clothier at the time. I went there to meet with the GM so I can try to get some business. I was wearing an ill-fitting navy suit, bright green socks, and my beloved light brown shoes. So when I walked in there with the utmost confidence, they told me to take a seat and wait for him. A few minutes went by, someone told me, he's ready to see you now. I walked into his office with my head held high, and I could see him looking at me from head to toe as I entered the room. Just to put things in perspective, and more on that later, he was an older Italian gentleman. And after I introduced myself, while he was still shaking my hand, he goes to me, Is that the way that guys are dressing now? My heart sunk. It was like somebody just punched me in my chest. The crazy part about the story, I don't even know what part of my outfit he was really referring to. It probably was all of it. I don't know if he was singling anything out. Now, needless to say, I didn't get the deal. And I remember driving home like, what was that? Now, speaking of Italian, a lot of guys tell me whenever I bring this up, the Italians do it all the time, especially the Southern Italians. And I'm here to tell you that's definitely not the case. I remember mentioning that in another video, and an Italian dude hit me up and he was like, bro, that's not an Italian thing. I'm not saying nobody in Italy wear light brown shoes with darker suits. There are badly dressed men everywhere. But I can definitely tell you it's for sure an American thing more than anything. Of course, if you travel, you'll probably see a lot of guys doing that, but I'm sure an American started that. Now, it didn't click right away. It still took me another year to realize, damn, I really don't know how to dress. You can say that was the beginning of the turning point because up until that time, people would always compliment me on my clothes and tell me that I look nice. You can't be sharp if you wear navy suits and light brown shoes. I feel like a lot of guys, they buy light brown shoes because they want to be different. Since most shoes are either black or like a darker brown. So you have guys who say to themselves, I don't want to be like those guys. I want to do something different. You know, I want my closet to be different. So I'm going to wear light brown shoes. What they fail to realize is your closet has to be different to begin with in order for you to wear light brown shoes. Let me explain. In order for you to wear light brown shoes, you also have to wear lighter suits. That way the shoes are not going to be standing out too much since the trousers aren't dark. And that's what I mean by harmony. The biggest problem with light brown shoes, there's such a jarring contrast next to a pair of navy pants, or worse, charcoal pants. But a lot of guys feel that's how I'm going to stand out. So now your feet are in competition with your face because when you walk in somewhere, people will be looking at your shoes as opposed to looking at your face. Your shoes should never be competing with your face because it's so far away from your face. And as I was saying before, the Holy Trinity, even if that gets a lot of attention, is such in close proximity to your face that people will be looking at your face anyway. That's not the case with your shoes. So if you're going to be wearing light brown shoes, you should have a closet that supports that color. But in most cases, guys don't really have the kind of wardrobe that warrants them wearing light brown shoes. Now, whenever I bring up the subject, I always get a ton of pushback. I don't expect anything different with this one. And it's because nobody likes to be told that they're doing something wrong. So I get it. The thing that you should keep in mind is almost everything that I tell people not to do, I've done them all. So I'm speaking from a place of experience. I was the guy who was wearing light brown shoes with a navy suit and thought that I was killing it. But it's okay to grow. It's okay to realize, damn, I made a mistake. So let me try to get better. So instead of fighting me about it, I want you to take a step back and say, maybe I've been wrong this whole time. Because believe me, man, I can't step outside and not see a guy in a navy suit and light brown shoes. So I know that it's a very popular combination. But just because it's popular doesn't make it right. Now, if you must wear light brown shoes, I would recommend that you wear them with lighter suit colors, like light grays, light browns, and those types of colors. What I recommend instead is for you to wear darker shoes, such as black, dark brown, and burgundy, ox blood, one of those colors, you know? For example, this is a pair of shoes in ox blood from Enzo Bonafé. So a shoe like that would go perfectly with the navy suit that I'm wearing right now. Currently, I'm wearing dark brown suede shoes, but you can definitely wear ox blood or dark burgundy, black, or dark brown. Now that you know exactly why to avoid light brown shoes, there are 39 other lessons. If you don't apply them, you'll never be stylish. I made a video about it. You can check it out here.